Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. So in CookieCast, it's a football podcast. We are a man down, but we hope it's the same great football flavour. Yes, a man down, but we hold the fort, we hold the line, and we bring you the finest football news, reviews, previews. Before we start, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave reviews where you can leave reviews. Obviously, share the podcast around, people. That's the one we like. Share the podcast around. Right, let's get going. Here we go. This is CookieCast, football podcast.
Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are here. For those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see not one, not two, but three smiling faces staring back at you. Now, unfortunately, it would be four, but of the four, there is only three, as the fourth musketeer happens to find himself at the football, as we currently speak, not date the podcast, clearly, but Mr. Stuart Woodmansey is at Hull versus Watford as we speak. So sadly, unable to join us. But we'll soldier on regardless. So it's just Mr. Andrew Cook, Mr. Matthew Moore. How are we this weekend? Sorry, this weekend, not even the weekend, this week, gents. How are we?
Very good.
All good, thank you very much.
We like to hear that. Well, we start the week with my boys, Middlesbrough, and they were taking on Burnley, who obviously, as we discussed last week, went into this game having only conceded 6 goals all season. And for the first 10 minutes or so, you could kind of understand why Burnley were in the position they're in the top 3 in the division. Very defensively resolute, kind of hard to break down, setting the tempo very much, and were basically under pressure for 10 15 minutes or so. However, the tide changed on the 13th minute when Dan Barlasser picked out Anthony Dykesdale, who was up from right back and managed to find himself in the box for some reason, on the edge of the box, no less. Took a touch to control the ball, got himself further into the box, and I've had to watch this back a couple of times because I'm not entirely convinced he meant to do this, but the commentary team on Sky were absolutely waxing lyrical about this. One of the best finishes I've ever seen. I'm almost convinced that he gets pushed by the Burnley player and falls into the ball, and the weight of the contact basically just scoops the ball over the keeper who's going down to try and make the block. But it is Anthony Dykesdale's first goal in the league for Middlesbrough. Whether or not he meant it, I don't think we'll ever know, because they'll probably just sort of play dumb and be like, yeah, cultured finish, mate. Definitely meant to do it. So that was Borough 1-0 up after 13 minutes. They tried to press the advantage and obviously go searching for the second goal. But on the 37th minute, they were pegged back. Connor Roberts, fellow right back, playing for Burnley, scoring his first goal. Now, can you guys guess when his last goal may have been scored and against which team? That's correct, ladies and gentlemen. His last goal in a Burnley shirt came against Middlesbrough in the win that got Burnley promoted the last time they were in the Championship. I think it's something ridiculous like 20 months or something like that he's gone without a league goal or something ridiculous like that. And he pops up in the middle of the park, won the ball back, carried the ball to about the middle distance between the penalty area and the centre circle, looked up, spotted that Semi Dieng was slightly off his line, and went for the speculative effort. I think it's one of those ones where if the end takes a step back, he maybe is able to just catch the ball, but he's kind of got his feet all wrong, got himself planted, has gone and dived to save it, and he's just completely looped over it. Made him look like a bit of a tit. Not the best. So we went into half time at 1-1. Each team had a couple more chances throughout the rest of the game. The best one was probably for the Borough. George Edmondson had a pretty much a free header at the back post and managed to plant it wide. So the game petered out to a 1-1 draw. Andy went for a 2-0 Middlesbrough win. Sadly, didn't pick Dykesteal as one of his 2 goal scorers, so no points for Mr. Cook. Matt had gone for a 2-1 Burnley win. Sadly, didn't have Roberts or Dykesteal as his goal scorers because why would he? He's not a mentalist. However, myself and Mr. Stuart Woodmansey both went for a 1-1 draw in this game. Again, neither of us had Roberts or Dykesteal because we haven't suffered a traumatic brain injury, so we just get the 2 points for the 1-1 draw prediction. 2 points for myself, 2 points for Mr. Woodmansey, Mr. Moore and Mr. Cook yet to score. Our second game of the week saw Hull City take on Blackburn. Now, obviously, this is where I would throw over to the aforementioned Mr. Woodmansey for his thoughts and breakdown of the game. Now, before we get into the game, Hull went into this with a new manager in place, but not in charge of the first team. So, let's bring up the information that Stuart sent to me. Hull City are delighted to announce the appointment of Ruben Selles, the club's new head coach, subject to obtaining a visa, which he has now taken. The 41-year-old has signed a 2.5-year deal with the MKM Club with a club option of a further year after the compensation fee was agreed with Reading. The widely admired Spaniard impressed despite continuing off-field challenges during his 18-month Royals reign, steering the young side to safety and into the League One playoff places. So, Sellers, the new man in charge, had been appointed too late in the week to take charge of the first team for their game against Watford. Their game against Blackburn Rovers. What Mr. Woodmansey did say, however, is the following. Opens with really odd game, this one. Ruben Sellers was introduced to the crowd before kick-off to excite everyone, before the team reverted back to the type. 58% possession, 513 passes with nothing to show for it. Much better performance overall, though, the lack of quality of the top showing. 6 shots on target to Blackburn's 1. Blackburn scored on the break, having got to Hull's box for the first time in the half after 20 minutes. Callum Britton drove the ball in from the right, the ball zipped off McLaughlin in atrocious weather and beyond Panda. Second half was more of the same. Shit weather, shit finishing, and game fizzled out to a 0-1 away win. Predictions-wise, Andy had a 1-0 Hull win. Long win to score. No points. Myself and Mr. Moore had 1-1 draws. I had Burstow and Ohashi to score. Matt had João Pedro and Vyman to score. No points. Mr. Woodmansey went for a 3-1 Blackburn win, so does get himself a point for that. Obviously, again, because he hasn't suffered a traumatic brain injury, he wasn't predicting an own goal as his goal scorer, so he doesn't get any additional points for that one. So, just the 1 point to add to Stu's total to move into 3. Myself still on 2. Andy and Matt still yet to score. The third game of the week sees Manchester United taking on Nottingham Forest. Obviously, a little bit of a podcast derby of sorts. Mr. Cook, interest in this from both sides, but it is Mr. Moore's team, and we will go to him for the rundown. It was the Saturday night fixture on Sky Sports. Were you able to at least watch some of it, or were you following it on BBC Sport on your phone?
I was out on a staff night out and had not followed it at all, and then thought, oh, maybe the Forest match is nearly finished. I think I'll check what the score is. And then nearly had a mini heart attack in the middle of the establishment that we were in. I was like, oh, we're winning. I think at that point it was 3-1, just to kind of let people know when I'd kind of looked at it. And then, of course, United scored. But we'll come back to that in a minute. So I think if people cast their minds back to about this time last year, about this time last year, it's when Forest played Man United in very quick succession. And when they played at Old Trafford, they scored really early. And this time they scored really early through, it's kind of like widely reported Man United's difficulty in defending corners and set pieces. And yeah, Forest, Milenkovic, absolute bullet header into the goal within 2 minutes. I think it's one of the quickest goals scored at Old Trafford in a long time. I think I've read that somewhere. Or I think it's the quickest goal scored at Old Trafford since Forest last scored the quickest goal at Old Trafford. 1-0 up with Milenkovic scoring. And then apparently Forest went into their shell a little bit. I think they kind of got, we've scored. Defend that for 88 minutes plus all the added time that you get at Old Trafford, and kind of went into their shell, but also didn't set themselves up properly. So like from what I saw, so then Man United equalised, and there just seemed to be a lot of letting players run. So Ryan Yates let Ugarte run and didn't close him down. Aina left Garnacho to run in behind him, and then who took the subsequent shot. Really good save from Sells, but then it rebounded out to Højlund, who wasn't marked, who stuck it in the back of the net. So 1-1. Forest kind of hung on a little bit for the rest of the half. There was a really good save from Sells from a Fernandez free kick. So he took the free kick, it clipped off Wood's head, and he managed to tip it onto the bar, which was a really good save. Jota Silva for Forest had a really good hit the bar as well. It went in 1-1, but then I think like Nuno must have really got into them at half time because they came out absolutely flying. I think they had a couple of chances, and then Morgan Gibbs-White got the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box, and when you look at it, took a really kind of pedestrian-looking shot, and for some reason, Andre Onana couldn't get to it, even though it was right next to him. It was the most bizarre bit of goalkeeping I've ever seen, kind of thing. You kind of think, has it hit something? Has it kind of has something hit him? Like I don't,
I've seen it back like 2 or 3 times, and I just don't understand like what he's done. He's just like, it's almost like he's like shifted his weight the complete opposite way and then just can't get back again.
Yeah, but it's like either his studs must have been way too long, because I understand he couldn't get his upper body down to that, but it was kickable. He could have kicked it away. It was bizarre. Then a few minutes later, more poor defending / poor goalkeeping. Real kind of flowing move from Forest. Kind of initial crosses knocks back out, but good hustle from Jota Silva and Elliot Anderson. Got the ball back out to Morgan Gibbs-White, who crossed it in, and again Chris Wood looping header, and somehow, like with no pace on it whatsoever, managed to get past two defenders and the goalkeeper. The best was Martinez just watching it onto the post and going, and you're like, you had more than enough time to go and stand literally on that post. It was terrible. 3-1 up. But couldn't make it comfortable. I think they had like another chance to possibly put it to bed, like make it 4-1. But kind of 10 minutes from the end, Fernandez it was a bit of a disappointing one, really, really kind of left free, kind of just inside the 18-yard box and stuck it in the back of the net. But Forest then reverted back to their back three and just kind of ran the game out. So yeah, 3-2 Forest win. It's the first win Forest have had at Old Trafford in 30 years. So add that to the win at Liverpool, which has been was 58 years or something like that. It's kind of slaying a lot of kind of beasts that we've kind of not done. So yeah, the last time 30 years ago was the Stan Collymore "Buy Me, Please Buy Me" tour, as he scored a goal and then he proceeded to shake all the Man United players' hands because he thought he was going to be going there in a couple of weeks. So yeah, so quite nice. Nice 3-2 win. 25 points for the season.
I think if offered you 25 points before Christmas, we would absolutely snap our hands off.
Oh, God, yeah.
Podcast predictions wise, it's no points for the result for myself, Mr. Woodmansey, and Mr. Mo. Stu had 2-0 Man United. Me and Matt both had 2-1 Man United. I do get a point back because I had a Wood goal. Stu gets a point because he had a Fernandez goal. Matt gets 2 points because he had Hoyland and a Gibbs White goal. So 2 points for me. 2 points for Matt, sorry. Point apiece for myself and Stu. Andy knows his onions and had gone for a 2-0 Nottingham Forest win. Sadly, no Elanga goal, but did bag with his Wood as usual. So, Mr. Mo, Mr. Cook off the mark with 2 points apiece, and then just 1 point apiece, myself and Mr. Woodmansey. The next game, we're going to just gloss over very, very, very quickly, as it was Leeds United versus Middlesbrough. Oh dear. How do I go through this as quickly as possible? Leeds took the lead on the 14th minute when the ball down the right hand side was not caught up by Nito Borges, the left back. Dan James latched onto the ball, crossed it in. Matt Clark tried to take this thing out of the ball, but it only managed to sort of cause a bit more confusion in the box. Seny Dieng tried to pounce on the ball to save it, got it caught in his feet. Decided to not try and sort of drop on the ball to make it safe. Tried to kick it away, kicked it straight into Willie Gnonto. It rebounded off him, went in the goal. Really, really bad. Really terrible goals I can see. Probably should have been 2-0 down a couple of minutes after that. But poor finishing from Leeds kept it at 1-0. That's how it went into the half time. But it did get they did get an equaliser on the 54th minute as a corner from the left hand side from Dan Barlasser, headed into his own net by backup left back for the night, Max Verber. At this point, the tide had kind of turned in Borough's favour. They should really have scored again. Ben Doak was playing on the right hand side of the box by Hayden Hackney. It was a great ball from Hackney. Doak tried to get the ball out of his feet and then just proceeded to completely air shot the air rather than actually make contact with the ball to try and get it over the goalkeeper. Leeds then had a chance to make it 2-1 when Dan James was playing on the right hand side of the box, and his effort was very tame, straight into the hands of Dieng. He wouldn't be made to pay, however, as about 30 seconds later, he was basically given a carbon copy chance to bundle the ball home. And he took it very, very well, annoyingly. The ball was won back in the middle of the park with a bit of a meat challenge from an unnamed Leeds defender, as I cannot for the life of me figure it out. Was it the play just goes too quick to make out? We think it might have been Sam Byron, but we can't tell at this point. The ball was then worked out to James on the edge of the box, and he's basically absolutely rifled it top left hand corner. It was a great finish, to be fair. And as Borough were chasing to get back to 2-2, A little ball from James into Ao Tanaka in the box. He just slipped the ball into the path of Aronson, who didn't even finish it himself. He just let the ball hit him and go into the net to make it 3-1 to Leeds. Disappointing, to say the least. Andy, sadly, gets no points for his 5-0 Middlesbrough prediction, as all of the goal scorers were not own goals. The rest of us had all gone for a draw. Matt had gone 1-1. Pirot and Conway, sadly no points for him. Stuart had gone 2-2 with James Nonto, Conway and Bergzorg. And I had gone 2-2, James Aronson, Azaz and Doak. So both myself and Mr. Woodmansey bag ourselves 2 points apiece for that last game. And then, so I say that last game, that particular game, and our last game of the week. Again, the reason why Mr. Woodmansey is not in attendance currently is because Hull City played Watford in what turned out to be Woodmansey's first game in official charge of Hull. I believe he made a couple of changes. Brought in, I can't think what his name is now. Alzate, I believe, came in for what could have been his first start. Certainly not a name I recognised from the last couple of games, but it looked decent. To be fair, Hull, they were playing some more sort of progressive football at times. It was 0-0 all the way up until the 82nd minute, when Hull took the lead in what could be deemed to be slightly controversial fashion. The ball was played in from the left, from the right hand side by Kamara. Took a couple of deflections on the way, and then Malem was arriving onto the end of it. Takes a shot. It deflecting, I'm pretty sure, off Bedia's hand. Obviously, no VAR in the Championship. Doesn't get checked. Can't get overruled. Had that been scored in the Premier League, I'm almost certain it would have been shot for a handball. It wasn't. The goal stood. Hull take a 1-0 lead with Bedia in the 82nd minute. They were unable to hold on, however, as in the 88th minute, a ball down the right-hand side was eventually played into Barr, who managed to pick out Vata around the 6-yard box and just finished neatly from, 6 yards past the goalkeeper to make it 1-1 and salvage a point for Watford. Obviously, Sellers starts his tenure with a draw. Predictions-wise, I had gone for a 2-1 Watford win. Sadly, João Pedro, Eberseli and Chakvetadze did not score. Stuart had gone for a 1-0 Watford win. Bayo to score. No points there. Andy had gone for a 1-0 Hull win. Bedia to score. So for about 6 minutes was on for all the points in the world. Sadly, that equaliser has shafted him royally, and he doesn't get any point. Well, he just gets the 1 point for Bedia goal. Matt, however, had gone for a 1-1 draw. 2 points right there. Sadly, Burstow did not score, although he had a great chance to just before Bedia's strike on the 82nd minute, and also Bayo did not score for Watford. So, all that means is that at the end of the week, Mr. Cook, 3 points from 5 games. Mr. Moore, 4 points from 5 games. Myself, 5 points from 4 games, but winning the week, and he's not even here to claim the crown. Stuart Woodmansey with 6 points from 5 games. Congratulations to you, sir, wherever you may be. Week 16 brings with it just the 3 games, just on Saturday. First time for a while that we've all played on a Saturday. Coventry versus Hull, Middlesbrough versus Millwall, Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. I have predictions for myself and Mr. Woodmansey. We will come to Mr. Cook and Mr. Moore for their predictions for those 3 games. Momentarily, we actually step away to take a short break. We'll come right back at you. Coventry versus Hull predictions. Don't go anywhere. And just like that, we are indeed right back at you. So, like we said, the first of the 3 games for week 16 sees Coventry City taking on Stu's Hull City. I have his prediction and my prediction in the book. I will give Stu's prediction last. I'll open us up here. I've gone for a 2-1 Hull City win on this one. I've gone for a goal for Bassett, Coventry, and then a goal apiece for Bedia and Kamara for Hull. Let's go to Matt for your Coventry versus Hull prediction.
I was going to say, we said they're all playing on Saturday. Miraculously, all at different times.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 games on TV.
Yeah. Well, just about. Is it proper TV or just about TV?
The Coventry Hull game is the you have to have the specific thing TV.
Just about TV.
I suppose technically you have to have the specific thing TV for the Forest game. So
yeah, but yeah.
But yes, it is on TV.
I've gone 1-1 draw here. I was going to make a joke about Bertie Bassett, and for Coventry and Bedia.
So not entirely different to mine, just with one less goal score. Yeah. Andrew.
Mine is exactly like that. Mine is one less goal scorer than yours, and with the same goal scorer. So a 0-1 with Bedia to score.
Stu is in agreement with Mr. Moore. He's also gone for a 1-1 draw. He's gone for Sakamoto and Palmer as his goal scorers.
Oh boy, rule.
Oh, was he on loan at Cov?
Yeah, that's where it all went. There's all that racial hoo-ha last year.
Interesting. Second game of the week sees Mylott Middlesbrough taking on Millwall. Strange thing about this game, Millwall have already said that they will be parting ways with their manager Neil Harris immediately following this game.
I thought it was tonight's game. They played tonight at Millwall.
I'm pretty sure they've said he's got the Borough game on Saturday.
Oh, is he as well? Because I think was it Millwall were at home tonight, weren't they?
Yeah. So they've lost against Sheffield United.
So I think they got a bit of a send off tonight because obviously he used to play there and all that kind of thing. They lost 1-0, so hilarious. But also, maybe he's doing Saturday as well. But he's got a send off tonight.
Bit of a strange one. I never understand. I can never understand why teams do this, where they say, "Well, we're going to get rid of the manager, but not just yet." It never seems to work. And surely if you're going to bin him off, just get rid.
Also, they're 11th in the table. I just don't know what they're to achieve.
I had this conversation with a friend last night, and it was like, honestly, you're Millwall. What are you expecting?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, regardless, it's my boys. They're looking to bounce back from that disappointing Leeds defeat. I'll give my prediction last, but I will jump in with Stu's prediction here. As he's gone for a 2-1 Borough win. He's gone for a goal for McGree, and then he's kind of tried to do me here because he's gone for a goal each for Azaz and Aziz. The Azaz goal, obviously, for the Borough, the Aziz goal for Millwall. Andrew, what have we got down for Borough versus Millwall?
2-0 to the Borough. Latte and Dr. Bergzorg.
I know we never do it, but we always threaten it. Like at the end of the season, I need to go back through the predictions and sort of tally up the amount of goals that each person would have scored during the season had all of our predictions come in. So I'm pretty sure Latte laughed on for about 85 goals this season. So, Matt, what have you got down for Borough Millwall?
Well, I mean, you better get the coffee pot out again because I've also got Latte Laugh and Conway for a 2-1 Borough win with Ivanovic getting the goal for Millwall.
Ivanovic. 2-1 to the Borough. I've also gone for a 2-0 Borough win, but I've gone for goals for Azaz and Conway on that one. Although they've got a bit of a mixed bag against Millwall, so wouldn't be surprised if they struggle with that one for the first 45 minutes, then have to sort of shit out their way to a 1-0 scabby win or something. Our final game of the week, as we said before, he's played on Saturday, but he's played at 5:30 p.m. live on the Sky Telebox. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa, the battle of the previous European champions, no less. Obviously, Mr. Moore's team, he will go last with his prediction. Stu has gone for a 1-1 draw. Yeah, he's going to go for Anderson and Rodgers. Not old boy for the Forest, but obviously did have a spell at the Borough. Andy, what have you got down for Forest versus the Villa?
Forest. I'm going back in with the Wood-Alanga combo because although I got my Wood, I didn't get my Alanga. So I need that one.
Swapped his Wood out, needs his Alanga to basically bring him home. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I've gone for Wood. I've got my Wood out. And Hudson-Odoi. And then I've got a goal apiece for Watkins and the aforementioned Rodgers for Villa. So, it's down to you, Matt, to finish it off and bring us home for the week. What have you got down for your boys against the only one-time European champion, Aston Villa?
I've also gone for a 2-2 draw.
2 being, obviously, the number of European Cups that Forest won, of course.
That's it. I've got Wood scoring.
I bet you do.
And Anderson as well.
Yeah.
Can't use old boy rule because he's kind of a current old boy, but not like a half old boy. Moreno, who's the Forest left back, but he can't play against Villa. He's unknown. I think I pick him every time we play Villa. I've got McGinn because he's a shithousey little bastard, and you just expect him to score against you. And I've gone Duran.
Very, very nice. Let's just hope he's not hungry like the wolf. That brings us to the end of terrible puns by some of us, but also the end of the predictions. I only have one thing to mention briefly, and it's not really anything. It's one of these sort of made-uppy sort of things. Finn Azaz has been crowned the PFA Championship Fans Player of the Month for November. Borough midfielder enjoyed a stellar month with a goal, netting 5 times and providing 4 assists. The Irish international back-to-back braces against Luton Town and Oxford. In the latter game, he also provided 2 outstanding assists for Emmanuel Latte Lath. So there you go, Finn Azaz, PFA Fans Player of the Month for November. What a time to be alive. That's all I had. Do either of you gents have anything to bring for your respective teams?
Nope, not doing anything exciting.
In that case, then, we'll let you go, ladies and gentlemen. A nice, quick, easy one for you to digest this week. Thank you, as always, to the 2 gentlemen sat with me to go through their teams and bring you the thoughts that are in their heads when it comes to football. Thank you, you, the listeners, for joining us week in and week out. We very much appreciate it. If you're new around here, this is your first time stumbling across this particular podcast, why not give the channel a subscribe? We're not just a football podcast. We also have American football on the podcast slate. We have wrestling there once a month. We have an F1 podcast where the F1 boys discuss the goings on, ins and outs of the world of Formula One, and then of course Mr. Cook likes to crack open his headboard and just spew forth all those things that are just taking up space in that noggin of his once a week on the Darkest Timeline podcast. So, that's it for another week. Join us again next week where we'll go through those 3 games and predict another raft of games for you. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Keep an eye out for each other. We will see you all next week. Tatty bye for now.
So there we go. What do you think of that? Another one done. Another one gone. Set of games gone. Set of games to come. Whew. Big thank you for watching. Big thank you for listening. Big thank you for being here. Before you go, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we've got social media links and an email button. And that way you can get in touch with us. That is it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye. And I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to these grumpy old men talk about football. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.